All right. Hello, everybody. Today we are going to be reading a story that's called Maybe Something Beautiful. But first, I want to talk about the genre of it. This, again, is another realistic fiction. Okay? Realistic fiction is things that didn't happen but could happen. So that's why we see that word real because it's going to be real things happening. We already know fiction means fake or false, but if it's realistic fiction, then that means that it didn't happen but it could happen. Authors tell us about characters. So the characters, how they look, what they do, what they think, how they feel, and what they say. So today, as we're reading the story, I want you guys to just think about the different characters that you're going to be introduced to and just think about how they look, what they do, what they say, how they feel, and what they think. Now, but before we read the story, we always start with our vocab. So let's go ahead and go over our vocab. So just take a second and look at those words real quick. All right, so our first word is joy. A joy is a feeling of great happiness. So when you go and you go see your cousins or your friends, or maybe when you used to come to school every morning, maybe you had joy. Maybe you were feeling great happiness. The next word is shadows. We all know what a shadow is. Shaded places away from light. Scurried. To scurry means to move quickly. So if somebody's like, all right, hurry, hurry, scurry, scurry, that means move quickly. Rhythm is a musical pattern. And splattered means to splash dots of something. So if you guys, I don't know what you guys do in art class, but maybe sometimes she has you guys take your art brush and just kind of like splatter it. I don't really know how to kind of like shake it, and then there'll be like dots that pop up on your paper of the paint. All right, so let's go ahead and read. This is called Maybe Something Beautiful, and it's about how art transforms a neighborhood. It is written by F. Isabel Campoy and Teresa Howell. So this person has two authors, and it is illustrated by Rafael Lopez. In the heart of a gray city, there lived a girl who loved to doodle, draw, color, and paint. Every time she saw a blank piece of paper, Mira thought to herself, maybe. And because of this, her room was filled with color and her heart was filled with joy. I look at the picture to find out information about the setting or where the story takes place. So I see that there are tall buildings by her window. Then she says that she lives in an apartment building that's high above the ground. I notice the colors are different inside and outside because if you look inside, what does her room look like inside? It's all colorful. It has paintings and drawings everywhere. Now let's look outside of her room. Look outside. What does that look like, the neighborhood? Outside, the colors kind of look boring and dark and gray. On her way to school one day, Mira gave a round apple to Mr. Henry, the owner of the shop down the street. She gave a flower to Miss Lopez, the lady with the sparkling eyes. I read that Mira gives a round apple to a shop owner and a flower to a woman with sparkling eyes. Is Mira giving a real apple and a real flower to these people? Look at the illustration. Is that a real flower that she's giving them? No. And so sometimes we can look at the illustration to actually help us understand what's going on. Because if that picture wasn't there, then I might think that she was actually giving the man a real apple and the woman a real flower. But it looks like it might just be drawings that she drew. She gave a songbird to Mr. Sachs and a red heart to the policeman who walked up and down the streets. On her way home, Mira taped a glowing sun onto the wall, hiding in the shadow. Her city was less gray, but not much. Mira gives colorful artwork to the people she sees as she walks to school. Mira seems cheerful and kind. She lives in a gray city, but she is trying to brighten it and bring joy to the city and people in it. I think giving the artwork away is how Mira tries to make people around her happier. Mira will have to make a lot of colorful artwork to keep cheering people up. The next day, Mira saw a man with a pocket full of paintbrushes. He gazed at the wall. He looked at her son. He held his fingers up in a square and peered through them. He said thoughtfully. What do you see? Mira asked. Maybe something beautiful, the man replied. The illustration on this page helps introduce the man with paintbrushes. I can see how Mira and the painter are similar. They both wear bright colors. The illustration also helps me understand what the writer meant by he held his fingers up in a square and peered through them. Can you hold your fingers like him and look through them? Sometimes when people do that, that means that they're trying to see something, or maybe they're acting like they're taking a picture of you, or maybe they're trying to kind of block everything else from their view so that they can focus on that one thing that's in that square behind their hands. It's almost like a zoom button for us. Now this page has no writing. And I know that every page in a story serves a purpose, even when the page has an illustration and no words, like this one. So I want to look closely at the illustration to learn more about the story. Here, I see that the illustrator uses a rainbow of colors to show that the painter is making the city brighter and more colorful. The painter looks cheerful and happy as he paints. Then, just like that, he dipped a brush in the paint. Bam! Pow! The shadows scurried away. Sky blue cut through the gloom. The man's laughter was like a rainbow spreading across the sky. Who are you? Mira asked. I'm an artist, he said. A muralist. I paint on walls. I'm an artist too, she told him. He handed Mira a brush. Then come on. As I read, I write questions about words and ideas I don't understand. So as I read paragraph 21, I asked myself, what does the word muralist mean? And I kept looking for clues to help me answer my question. But in the next line right here, it says, I paint on walls. So what do you think a muralist does? They paint on walls. So sometimes, and I tell you guys this when we do our achieve, sometimes we may run across things that might be confusing or words that we don't know. But a lot of the time, if we keep reading, we can use words around that word that we don't know to help us figure out the definition of it. Mira dips it in the loudest color she saw. Yowie! The wall lit up like sunshine. So in paragraph 26 right here, it says the loudest color. But I have never heard a color. So I wonder what that means. What do you think it means if somebody says it's a loud color? So a loud color might mean a bright color. It speaks to you. You see it. Like if I was to give you something black, it's not going to be very loud. It's not going to catch your attention like if I was to give you something bright yellow or bright pink or bright red. What do you guys think? Do you think the color gray is a loud color? No, it's not very loud. What about the color like a sky blue? Do you think that's a loud color? Yeah, it's kind of bright, right? What about orange? Or pink? Or white? Or gold? So we could think about what colors are technically loud colors. All right, let's move on. As the man drew pictures on the bricks, Mira added color, punch, and pizzazz. Soon Mr. Sachs joined in. Then came others. Everyone painted to the rhythm. Salsa, merengue, bebop. I read the words salsa, merengue, and bebop. I'm not sure what they mean, so I looked to the words around them to see if I can find a clue. In paragraph 32, it says that everyone painted to the rhythm. The definition on page 70 tells me that rhythm means a musical pattern. So everyone is dancing and painting to a beat. I think that salsa, merengue, and bebop must be different types of music, just like how we have rap, jazz, or we listen to chill hop in class. So Those are just different types of music. Even Mira's mama painted and danced the cha-cha-cha. The whole neighborhood became a giant block party until now, sometimes writers build suspense in a story by pausing before telling what's going to happen. So sometimes, and suspense means to make you think in your body and make you kind of feel uneasy and you're like, oh no, what's going to happen next? It's like if you're watching a show and something at the end of the show, something crazy at the end of the show happens and you're sitting there and you're watching and you're waiting for what's going to happen next. And they're like, tune in next week for the remainder of the show. And you're just like, what in the world? So it seems like they tried to build some suspense right here because it says until, and then it says dot, dot, dot. It doesn't tell us. So I think that the author is just trying to build suspense to keep us kind of guessing what's going to happen on this next page. The policeman walked up. Excuse me, he said. The music stopped. Mira put her brush down. They were surely in trouble. The officer cleared his throat, then paused. May I paint with you, he asked. So Mira handed him a paintbrush, and the music started again. Teachers and papas jumped in, babies too. Mira and the man handed out brush after brush, and color spread throughout the streets, and so did joy. The text on the page tells me that everyone in the community started to paint. When I look at the illustrations, however, they show me that even more changes have started to happen in the community. What else do you see? What else are people doing? They're not just painting. What are other people doing? I see children back here. It looks like they're planting trees, maybe making more natural space in what used to be a gray area. And the painting has led the city to become brighter in different ways. Look at this. Looking at the illustration on this page, I notice a big change from the illustration on the first page of the story. Because on the first page of the story, remember the city looked all gray and cold, but now these colors make the city look warm and happy, and all the characters are smiling and excited. Wherever Mira and the man went, art followed like the string of a kite. After they colored the walls, they painted utility boxes and benches. They decorated sidewalks with poetry and shine, and everyone danced. Together they created something more beautiful than they had ever imagined. I remember when Mira thought something like this on the first page. Oh, wait, let's keep reading. I think I got ahead of myself. When their clothes were splattered with a million colors, everyone sat down to rest, except the muralist. His eyes sparkled. You, my friends, are all artists, he told them. The world is your canvas. He smiled wide, then pulled everything together in big, sweeping motions. His paintbrush was like a magic wand. When he finished, Mira added one more bird way up in the sky. Maybe, she thought, just maybe. Now, I remember when Mira thought something like this on the first page, when she was looking at a blank piece of paper. So what do you think that she's thinking about now? I don't know. Maybe she's thinking about livening and brightening up this building right here. Now, this is, I'm going to tell you why this is a realistic fiction. Because it is true. You could definitely get paintbrushes and paint on buildings. You can definitely have your friends come and help you plant trees and different flowers and stuff like that. It's a fiction because this hasn't happened, but it's a realistic fiction because it could happen. Now, I don't recommend you go out and try to get paintbrushes and paint and just try to paint on buildings that you see as great, because that might be called graffiti and we do not want you to get in trouble for that. So for now, we're just going to stick to the paper and the paintbrushes and the markers, and we're going to leave the buildings alone.